So I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about something that I'm often asked about, particularly from male clients and particularly younger male clients who have some sort of health and fitness goal attached to their nutritional program. And that is the idea of something called a cheat meal, or sometimes called a cheat day, or a refeed day, or a diet break. Um, the idea of cheat meals is that they are scheduled meals that will contain certain indulgent foods, pizza, beer, chocolate, whatever, that ordinarily wouldn't be allowed in your nutritional program. Um, these meals will often contain higher calories, sometimes really significantly so, than your regular meals. These seem to be quite popular in the world of social media, particularly YouTube, um, with quote unquote health and fitness channels. Um, but the truth is, there isn't really a huge amount of evidence in terms of useful peer reviewed research to show that they really have much efficacy, either physiologically or psychologically. And this may be due to the fact that it's slightly dubious in our current obesogenic environment to encourage people to overconsume what you could describe as nutrient poor but calorie dense foods. And so, for example, this study found that cheat meals are really a socially endorsed dietary phenomenon. So, as opposed to clinically endorsed or endorsed by actual research. And they seem to have particular support with a pro-muscularity online community, but very, very little empirical evidence to support their efficacy. And as I mentioned earlier, all you have to do is put, the term cheat meal or cheat day into Google or put it into YouTube, and you will find literally hours of content from these supposed health and fitness channels. They seem to be focused mainly on young men, but occasionally you'll see women or young women getting involved as well. Normally with some sort of I can eat as much as the boys vibe. Now, I won't lie; these can be fun and entertaining, but I question their value, or even would go as far as to question how responsible it is constantly promoting this sort of dietary behavior on a quote-unquote health and fitness channel. So when the social literature or content surrounding a dietary idea or pattern far outweighs the scientific literature, this can be cause for concern, and it's certainly worth questioning the efficacy of that particular dietary behavior. So what does the research say, and are there actually any potential benefits of incorporating cheat meals into your nutritional plan? There seem to be two proposed benefits. The first are physiological. These tend to focus around things like metabolic benefits and hormonal benefits. And then, of course, psychological benefits, claiming that a sort of willpower break might increase dietary adherence to a certain plan. This claim about a metabolic boost was really debunked quite early on, early research. In fact, this study found that the metabolic boost experienced after a cheat meal was a pretty small, 3 to 10%, and only really lasted about 24 hours. So really hardly enough to account for the extra few hundred or perhaps potentially even 1,000 calories consumed in a cheat meal. There may be some hormonal benefits. For example, this study found that overfeeding with carbohydrates increased energy output and importantly, raised leptin levels by about 30%. And of course, leptin has the effect of decreasing appetite. So a rise in 30% of that hormone might have some significant effect in decreasing appetite, at least for a certain period of time. However, it should be noted that the same effect was not seen in overfeeding with fat. It was only seen with carbohydrate. A further review found that diet breaks and refeeds may offer benefits such as improving fat loss efficiency, lean body mass retention, and attenuating metabolic adaptation to weight loss. However, these benefits were only observed in physique competitors. So these are people with extraordinarily low body fat and very high muscularity. So people who fit this description, apart from being extremely rare, also intend to be very insulin sensitive and usually follow a very rigid nutrition and exercise regime that's completely atypical to the general population. So any benefits seen in this unique population with regards to cheat meals will not necessarily be transferable to the population at large, to just everyday people. And this tends to be what I've seen, on Google or on YouTube or in health and fitness magazines. Some extraordinarily sort of muscular, in fantastic shape fitness model or fitness influencer claiming the benefits of cheat meals on themselves, and then purporting that those benefits will be seen to their followers or subscribers or their audience. And this is where I feel things are slightly irresponsible. The majority of people don't live the lifestyle of your average fitness model or social media fitness influencer. And those people often tend to have A, fantastic genetics, B, as I've mentioned, lead a lifestyle that can incorporate these sort of dietary breaks more readily, and also C, in some instances are on certain performance enhancing drugs that also will enhance the benefits of a cheat meal. So that's why I sometimes feel that the constant proliferation of supporting these dietary breaks, these cheat meals, can be a little bit irresponsible. There was one promising study done on obese men in Australia that found that an intermittent energy restriction diet, aka one that allowed various scheduled cheat meals or diet breaks, was associated with greater weight loss and fat loss than a continuous energy restriction diet. And interestingly, in that study, the subjects who were allowed the occasional cheat meal or diet break not only lost more weight, but actually kept the weight off for longer. So that is one quite convincing study that does support the efficacy of the occasional cheat meal. The other claim is that cheat meals or diet breaks have certain psychological benefits. And it seems that there is a certain amount of evidence that a sort of willpower break, or having something to look forward to, may increase levels of dietary adherence and also satisfaction. There was one major review that revealed that dieters who sporadically strayed from their nutritional plans felt more satisfied with the process overall and stayed motivated to lose weight for longer. It was found that these planned hedonic deviations helped to maintain their self-regulatory resources and had a positive effect on the experience overall. So, this is pretty appealing. However, there wasn't a whole lot more I could find that was particularly convincing in terms of the psychological benefits of cheat meals. In fact, the sort of barrage of articles hailing massive benefits of diet breaks and cheat meals were basically only able to cite this one review as evidence. So, although it's appealing and it's not nothing, there's hardly a tsunami of data backing up these claims. I think it's really important to note at this point that some of the behavior surrounding cheat meals could fit into a broad interpretation of the term disordered eating. Now, this shouldn't be enough to entirely put you off. I mean, in a broad enough definition of this term, any sort of dietary regulation could be considered disordered eating. However, if you have a history of disordered eating or a concern that this may be a factor for you, I definitely would not advise the use of cheat meals, as it may exacerbate the issue. So what should I do? Well, with regards to cheat meals and diet breaks, it may have to be a case of knowing yourself. Are you motivated by having something to look forward to, but then can use that to get back on track again? Then cheat meals might really help you. If you're someone who needs rigid rules and can get thrown off track very easily if you veer slightly away from a nutritional plan, then it's probably a good idea to stay away from this as an option. I will admit I occasionally use cheat meals to help keep me on track. But what I'll do is a sort of preparation for the meal. I use them mainly for social reasons. I love to go to dinner with friends or order a takeaway with my wife. And I hate to be doing that and sort of trying to count calories or trying to watch what I eat. I think of food as a very social thing. And I want to be able to enjoy it without worrying about any nutritional plan that I'm currently on. So, for example, if tonight is pizza night, I might do the following. I'll extend my intermittent fast for that day. I'm currently doing a 15 or 16 hour fast, but I might extend that to 17 or 18 hours. I'll likely go easy on the first meal of the day, making sure it includes a large quantity of very nutritionally dense but low-calorie foods to try and balance the nutritionally poor but high-calorie foods I'm going to eat later in the day. And if I can, I'll sometimes exercise before the cheat meal, as there's some evidence that this may decrease the negative effects of any excess calories that I consume in the cheat meal somewhat. So the evidence is inconclusive. You definitely shouldn't feel like you need cheat meals, but you definitely don't have to be afraid of them. And as always, if you want the best advice on what to use for your unique physiology and goals, a nutritionist like myself can really help in this sort of case. I hope that helps. Feed the life you want to lead.